Fluffy.
What?
Oh my god, you were tagged.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, you know we're being tagged.
Yes, we were tagged.
Just
We
being
knew it.
Fluffies.
We
So,
are Fluffies.
I'm Eric.
I'm Christian.
He likes when I do that. And by the way, this is not a live streaming. It looks like live, but it's not live. But
No.
we're here.
We're here. We're live.
But not live. Yeah. So basically, this is a special edition because you got so honored and so flattering. The first time you've been tagged. By who? Let them explain, right?
Yes, let them explain.
Go, explain.
It's called the Expat Tag.
That's right.
Yeah, so us as South Africans in Ireland decided we need to do this. Today we are going to actually tag people. We are tagging 5 different people. I hope one of you do it. And also, if you want to do it, we don't know who's expats and so on and
if
so
you
forth.
are expat and we didn't tag you, then please do it.
Yeah, if you want to do it, because I think it's quite an interesting tag.
Yes.
And we would love to hear all of your answers. The first people we are tagging this week is Eric and Christian. It's the nicest couple we've met on YouTube, and they live in Canada.
Yeah.
One of them are from
Hungary.
and the other one is from Brazil, so I think they would do good in this tag, and I
Yes.
would love to hear the answers. The channel's name is
The Fluffies channel.
the Fluffies channel. So, guys, please do this tag. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
How can we say no to that?
Yes, how can we?
So first of all, they are sweet friends, Nicky and G.
Yes,
They are from South Africa,
originally.
but they live now in Ireland and became very good friends recently. So we've been talking, and there's some interesting news to tell later in the end of this video, but after we talk
Yeah,
about it.
afterwards.
So as you saw, they tagged us, so we're here before going to bed. So we're gonna do this now, so we can support. By the way, they've tagged other channels.
Yes.
So one of them is the African Lion. The other is a bit twice. Push
Up
Up Dad.
Sandra and Steve.
This one you're gonna like the name.
One Life to Live.
He likes soap operas. And Stay Cool Keto.
Yeah.
Hi guys, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
And of course, our sweet, wonderful friends, Too Fat to Figures.
Yeah. AKA Nicky and G.
It's funny because he say he's fat and they say they're bunny, but if he's fat, we are mega fat. You're slim next to us, so so it's good. It's a good thing. So they, by the way, I'm originally from Brazil. I'm living. One question going to be that, and we live in Toronto, Canada. But he is Hungarian, but he isn't. Explain.
Yeah. I was born in Montreal, Canada. My parents come from Hungary. And recently I became a Hungarian citizen through verification. But
Meaning
because my father was Hungarian, was born in Hungary, I was able to get my Hungarian ID and a Hungarian birth certificate.
I just checked the real Hungarian, so he got it. So it was like he didn't have to go through ceremonies and all the regular people.
It was just automatic.
Yes.
After some months of waiting, of course.
So he's gonna be responding as a Quebec.
As a Quebec, I joke with my friends that I moved to Canada in 1997, but I basically moved from one province, Quebec, to the province of Ontario. And Quebec has always, for many, many years now,
Tried to be independent.
Actually, their own country. I joke with my friends that I immigrated to Canada. So I'm going to be responding as a Quebecer in Ontario.
Yes.
Also, because my parents were from Hungary, I was raised in a Hungarian home. My grandmother lived with us until I was 15. So I grew up with a lot of the Hungarian traditions and Hungarian foods.
Plus, He's been there many times.
I've been there 12 times myself and five times with Christian.
So we can talk a bit like other way too.
Yeah.
So first question is, where were you born? Did you grow up?
Where did you grow up and where do you currently live?
So I was born. We are complicated. I was born in a city called Votorantim, in São Paulo State. There is a huge fabric of cement there, but I was adopted. So my parents raised me in another city called Santos on the coast, famous for the coffee, Pelé, soccer, but basically I've been to my birthplace twice, when I was born and I was 18 years old. So I have no past about that city, which is funny. And also, I don't know why, somehow my document state I was born in Santos, but I wasn't born there. So it's kind of funny being born in one place, but I have nothing about it.
Plus, his adopted father is from Denmark.
Yes. And my uncle from my mother's side, married to my aunt, he was Hungarian, so I went to their house many times in Brazil. So I have some past in Hungary. So it's not a new thing. have cousins, they are Dutch. My cousin married Dutch. They lived there for 20 years. So I have cousins, their children living there. Now they're adults, they're parents. So, and I lived in Netherlands for 3 months in 1995. So I have this other part too.
Yes. Now, for me, I was born in Montreal. Actually, I'm also adopted. And my birth parents are actually from Poland. I was conceived in Rome. Ironically, they met in an ESL class. And what do I do for a living? I'm an English teacher. English as a second language teacher. So I was actually conceived in Rome. And I was born in Montreal.
So they told him.
So I was born in Montreal and I was adopted to a Hungarian family. And then in 1997, I moved from Montreal, Quebec to Toronto, Ontario.
It's where you currently live.
Yes.
And about where I did grow up, in part I grew up in Santos, Brazil. Then we moved to another city, another state there called Minas Gerais, city called Uberaba. Lived there for 10 years, and then you moved back to Santos, where I was there till 1995, 96. So, both. So, second question. What made you leave your home country?
Guilty.
His fault.
I
was leaving... many things, time passed, my parents live in the north coast of São Paulo State, in a small town. I was living there with them. And one day online, December 10, 2000, we start talking online, and then we start talking. And in May 2001, I had to get the old forgetful. 2001, I came here, stayed for 3 weeks, was spending my birthday here.
Yes.
My 30th birthday. And then 10 days later, 11 days in June 11 to 12, he went to Brazil for the first time.
And ironically, what day was it?
Brazil is called the Valentine's Day Brazilian way. And then in 2002, I moved to Canada. That was in April 2002. So since then, and then became a permanent resident. And then in 2007, I became a Canadian citizen. So I have...
And also 2003, we tied the knot.
Yes, I got to marry. I was the first Brazilian to marry a Canadian. Another man in Toronto, because it became legal in Ontario, in a few provinces before becoming legal
all over Canada.
All over Canada. And we got married very soon. And so I was the first.
Yeah.
We got there first.
So my reason for moving from Montreal to Ontario, or Montreal to Toronto, is also a story of love. In 1995, I met someone who lived here in Toronto, we were long distance. I was still at university, and after I graduated in 1997, I came to Toronto. I moved here, and that ended in It ended, and so then I met Christian afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, you're back. Okay. Oh, by the way, it's not live. If you think alive, you're not live.
Yeah, we're not live.
Just make sure. And there's something else I'm going to say I forgot about.
Oh my God.
Can you do? So, third question. What type of reactions do you get when you meet new people and tell them where you're from? That's interesting story. Well, Canada is a multicultural country. Toronto is very multicultural. So let's say being from elsewhere is kind of common here. It's not actually. We always joke when you meet somebody who was born in Toronto. It's so kind of rare. You don't.
A lot of people move out of other places
places
of the world, and
then you see somebody say, "Oh, I was born in Toronto. Oh my God, you touch them. Oh my God."
Yeah.
It's so unbelievable because it's so rare for us to see somebody born here. So technically here, there's not really much. When I moved here, there was not many Brazilians. It wasn't that common. More Portuguese, and then start some waves of immigration. And now it's so easy to bump to Brazilians. Even the building you live now, there are Brazilians here. You go to a store sometimes before COVID. You would hear Brazilians. It's so funny the amount. So the only thing a funny story I had from Netherlands in 1995. There's a funny quick story. I went there. My cousin, he was vice president of this, director of this company called Nutricia. Anita, you might know about it. It's like a Nestle, but the second largest. It's very big there in Netherlands. So I got the internship there for 2 months. And one day, the other interns, Dutch, they invited me finally to hang out with them. So we went out in a restaurant or something. But I was there, like, oh, surprise, they invited me. They're talking between them in Dutch. I was there,
He doesn't speak Dutch, so...
La 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 la. Then at some point, out of nowhere, one of the guys turned to me and said, "Do you know Flamingo?" And I thought, what? I said, well, first of all, not flamingo, it's flamenco.
Yeah, flamingo is a bird.
Yes. There's Flamengo is a soccer team in Brazil, but I'm sure he wasn't talking about that. And second, flamenco is Spanish, so it has nothing to do Brazil or Portuguese, nothing. So it was pretty awkward. And then became very odd. So it was really weird time with them. So that's a funny story.
And also here in Canada, people look at him and they don't think he's Brazilian.
Yes.
Because when they think Brazilian, they think dark-skinned.
Yeah, there's stereotype of like soccer players. And they say, oh, you don't look like Brazilian. It's very funny. Or when you're in the US, many trips, they think I'm from Quebec because I have a Latin accent.
Yeah, I'm the one from Quebec.
So it's funny. Oh, you don't look Brazilian. Or at work, as a journalist, some publicists contact our media outlet. It's a Brazilian outlet here to talk about, oh, we have this event. It's about tango. We thought it would be perfect for our audience. I said, well, as a Toronto perspective, because we want to portray Toronto.
And diversity.
It's fine, yes. But if you think about Brazilians, no. Brazil has nothing to do with tango. That's Argentina and Spanish. So more than once, we have this situation. They approach our blog thinking you knew Spanish, you have to do with that. And say, no, we don't.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that Portuguese is spoken in Brazil, not Spanish.
Yeah, so funny stories.
Yeah. On my side, I don't really have any... There might be surprised that I speak English because Quebec is very French.
Well, we have a story in Hungary or somewhere in the train who speaks Hungarian.
Oh, true. The Hungarian side. So I was in Germany and I ended up leaving Germany to go to Hungary to visit relatives. My father was supposed to come a few days later. So I took a train from Germany, from Frankfurt to Vienna, and then Vienna to Budapest. And I'm normally a very talkative person. So I would talk to strangers, and for me, sitting with people and not being able to speak for a long period of time is very... So basically, when I got on the train, I wanted to see if anyone spoke English. So one of my tricks is pretend my watch is not working. So I would ask, does anyone have the time? No one responded. I tried in Hungarian. No one responded. I tried in French. No one responded. So from Frankfurt to Vienna, I was quiet. I was bored, out of my mind.
Remember, at the time there was no cell phone. So
yeah, there was no cell phone at the time. So then when we got to Vienna, people got off the train and I had 4 new people in my car. And so I said, please, someone speak Hungarian, English. So I looked at my watch again and I said, in Hungarian, does anyone have the time? All 4 of the gentlemen said yes, and we started a conversation. Then came the passport control. They came into the car, they asked to see our passport, and I took my Canadian passport out, and the 4 Hungarian men looked at it and was like, you're Canadian? You're not from Hungary? And I said, no, my parents were from Hungary. I'm visiting. And they were very surprised. So that's my story to answer this question.
I have a story about that too. That time, 95, my father was born in Denmark and he lived in Brazil. And his sister was born in Vitória in Brazil and moved to Denmark. So they switched countries, basically.
And still lives there.
She's still there, 95 years old. So when I was in Netherlands, she said, come visit me. So I took a train, we went to Denmark. But when the train entered the ferry from Germany to Denmark, they checked the passports. And the guy saw my name. My name is just one name. Everything else is totally Danish. He looked at my passport, looked at me, and then he put a sticker for me to verify my documents because he was so surprised that
it was a Brazilian passport.
Brazilian passport, basically Danish name, and I wasn't Danish. A protest, by the way, because I was reading recently. Technically, I was Danish at that point. I was there 21.
Until 21.
21 was considered like him, the Danish. But then after 21 years old,
if you don't get your Danish citizenship.
By that time, I asked my parents, my father, it's so difficult, I had to learn the language, so nothing happened at that time. Now it's more difficult too.
Yeah.
They're not so easy for that. So next question. What was the hardest part of adjusting to your new country? Well, for me, what helped is the fact, always being international environment, my father being Danish, the uncle Hungarian, I always had international. I went to Denmark 3 times when I was young, 2 times when I was a young kid. So I have a long history, let's say, of these things.
Yeah.
So I think that helped it. Also the fact Toronto is multicultural. I think that is really a bonus.
Yeah, there's a Brazilian area, so if he misses some Brazilian stuff, we can go there and get it.
So this is part of the fact Canada is very multicultural. I think if it was Netherlands, that time, I think if it was my cousins, it would be way more difficult. Even to be with my cousins there, a Brazilian cousin, the Dutch cousin, and my husband, it was complicated to deal with them. It was different. And I think it was me moving Denmark to Netherlands would be kind of tougher than here. So that was the easiest. The hardest part, and also the fact he came with him for him, so we stayed together. So, and the hardest part for sure is the immigration process. When I moved here, I started the process. Took 3 years. I was slimmer than him.
We were the same.
Size.
Basically, we could change clothing.
Yes. So then how the stress of going through papers and it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. Especially came for a relationship, so I have the emotional going on. So how can you start a life in another country knowing I'm going to stay, I'm going to have to go back, they're going to send me back during the process. It was so much. My father passed in 2003, and I couldn't go back to Brazil because I was here a temporary visa, and there was a risk if I left the country, I might not be able to get back in. So I didn't want to risk. So it was so odd getting the news of my father passing and not be able to go do anything. It didn't. At that time, it was not like now.
Yeah, and the first time we can go back was 2006.
5. So it took 2 years for me to finally go there and finally see a bit what was going on. It was very, very odd. So that I think was the hardest part, to deal a new country under the situation, and I have to. I'm here, but not totally here. And when the papers finally came, that time things got more complicated. It was around 9/11. So many things changed here. Immigration, everything changed at that time. Everything was confusing. And when I finally came, I had to suddenly, I couldn't study, I couldn't work, I couldn't get sick because I couldn't have a
hospital card or insurance.
Health government
insurance
thing because I wasn't a Canadian or a permanent resident. So I couldn't get sick, I couldn't work, I couldn't study, couldn't do anything, just stay home. So that was really hard, not be able to do anything. And when the papers come, now I have to run, I have to do everything right away. So, but then, what about the 3 years I was waiting for the paper, everything? That's hard part of it.
Yeah, very hard. And for me, I wouldn't say there was anything easy or hard. Like, of course, I missed my parents, and Christian missed his mom and dad when he first came, and I could always go visit them. I miss certain foods.
But I've got next question, Eric. Yeah. I hate Russia's thing. By the way, you didn't watch the video they made?
Yes.
Because they want to spoil this. So just seen basically the first.
Yeah, the questions are the first time we've seen them.
So to be a surprise.
Yeah.
So next question. Image words or sounds that sum up the expat experience you had so far? Oh, that's a hard question.
Very hard.
Good question. Good question. Sound I don't know what to do. Image. That's tough.
I really can't answer this one in my case. So.
A word I learned, recently did this podcast series funded by the government about Brazilians moving to Canada. And the word I heard the most, that was most impressive for me, it was about recreating yourself. So basically, if you want to live somewhere else, no matter what, you have to be able to let it go and recreate yourself. Because all of them, they came one way, thinking one way, they learn things, they through things, and now they had to do new things for them, new career, new place, and move somewhere else here, and new courses to learn new things. So they had to recreate themselves to be able to succeed here. So I think a word is about, would be that. Recreation. Adaptation.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Free food or drink item in your new country. Canada is an odd situation because there's no many Canadian, typical Canadian food. There's no really many Canadian drinks. There's a video made on our channel. We try some Canadian things, products.
Yeah.
There's no many really. Poutine, for example, the famous Canadian food is the
from Quebec.
French fries and
gravy and cheese curds.
I started having more recently, the last 2 years. I started having more poutine. In the past, I wasn't really interested. And there's no really... I like desserts. I like the sugar...
Well, there's the pecan.
Pecan tart.
Tart.
Tart. I like
Ketchup chips.
ketchup chips, coffee crispies, more sweet
Coffee
candies,
crisp is a
snacks.
very popular Canadian.
But food.
Another very important thing here in Canada, Tim Hortons. So Tim Hortons coffee.
Yeah, I drink coffee from Tim Hortons, French vanilla, something I really like.
Yeah, French vanilla cappuccino.
Yes, and basically, what about you from Quebec here?
So it's basically the same food. One thing I do miss a lot is Quebec-style pizza.
Well, ask about the food here. What's your food? Next question. Answer next question.
Okay, so in my country, let me talk about Hungarian. So I've been to Hungary 12 times through my life. One thing I do miss is it's a type of cheese spread. It's called körözött. It's made from caraway seed. And whenever I'm there, I always get like big cartons of it. Christian's not too fond of it, but I love to like smear it on. It's kind of like cream cheese, but made from caraway, and it's really good. Lots of desserts. Growing up, my grandmother used to make lots of crepes, or palacsinta as they're called. So that's about it.
Okay, now the next one. What's your home country? For me is interesting. I keep saying that now. What?
Definitely your cereal.
Yeah, I have this cereal called farinha láctea. I don't know how to explain. I used to have a lot not for breakfast, but I was addicted to that. I have faith. Sometimes I used to have a lot and then stop for a while, then remember, have for a while.
But it's very common to get at the store.
Yes.
So he took it for granted, I guess.
No,
It's
when
always
you live
there.
somewhere else in a country, you realize that things are so common for you, then another country might be a problem. For example, that. So we couldn't find this here at all. Only on our trips to the US, we go to some bakeries in New Jersey or supermarket in Florida, would find. Then I would eat that like crazy. Or when I go to Brazil, I would eat like crazy. So recently we found this bakery here in Toronto. They have it. We ordered it for a while.
Occasionally. Not all the time.
All the time. But it was good. It was exactly the same. It was similar product. Same product, but another brand. So it was exactly like the original that I like. It was similar. But actually, details keep having dreams often that I was basically in Brazil at some point. I remember I should go to a bakery or store to buy my cereal before I go back to Canada because I'm gonna miss. So funny how many times I had that.
Yeah.
And when we start having the cereal, it stopped it. But now it's been a month or two they don't have anymore. I had one dream already with that. But food-wise, I miss the Brazilian stroganoff. Something like, it's not exactly the Russian or the American.
It's different.
Rice, and there's the meat with the sauce. It's really delicious.
When he first came to Canada, I surprised him by making him what I thought was beef stroganoff.
And for here,
that's what you think of when you say beef stroganoff. And he looked at it, he was like, what is that?
no, I don't think it's stroganoff.
It's not the same.
And the first time we went together to Brazil in 2005, every time we went to somebody's house or friend, relative, they asked, what did you want for food? We said the same thing to everybody. You want a stroganoff. So it's stroganoff everywhere.
Yeah.
Because
Because we missed it.
Yes. Brazilian food is so loud. It's so delicious. It's so flavorful. So it's hard to... It's something really miss about it.
Yeah, and with me, the biggest thing I'd say is pizza. There's a big difference, I think, between Montreal pizza and pizza here in Toronto, and you can attest to that.
Maybe.
No, we found places, and it's so much better. There's something in maybe the dough or something. It's made differently or something. There's one place that I want to try out here in Toronto, and it's Montreal-based pizza. So I want to really try it. It's not near us, so we have to go there. And of course, there's a few restaurants that I miss from going to Montreal.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
What is the one thing you said yes to your new city that you wouldn't say yes to back home? It's hard because it's been 20 years. It's a long time, I think, to remember.
Yeah.
I always say yes here, I didn't say yes there. I don't know. That's interesting.
This one's an interesting question.
That's a tough question
I can't
here.
think of anything.
I can't remember anything. I'll say here, I'll say no there. I don't know.
Let's.
Oh, here. Here you can say yes going out cell phone.
True.
In Brazil, if you go out, it's so dangerous to... Every time, last few years, they said, don't show your phone, don't carry with you. That's actually, they have many pictures that the last trip is because it got so paranoid because they really do that. So
yeah, a lot of his friends tell us, my phone was stolen.
So we avoid to use there. So something said yes to use the phone here, and said no, I wouldn't say that there. And driving too. Say yes to drive here, don't say it has to drive there anymore. Since I went back, was changed, it's so difficult, so crazy that no.
Well, also there it's more of the stick shift, no? Like,
Yeah, but sometimes the traffic is very... I wouldn't be able to drive there.
I don't have anything.
What do you most enjoy doing in your new country? Well, I like the most is spend time with my Fluffy.
That's me.
That's the reason for everything.
And also traveling.
Yeah.
So going to new places in Canada.
Yes, and I have been doing much in a while,
Especially this year.
but traveling, but spend time with him. That's the thing. Is, of course, when you move to live with another person, everything changes. Because when you move to another country, it's not just moving. You have to move to live, start a life with somebody else. We didn't have a life together there. Just
Right.
have on the phone and online. But when you come in person, things are different. So many challenges to get used to many things. And so one thing we learn, since you know very well about distance, how it's hard to be without each other, since we stay a year and a half long distance,
Very hard.
we really value. So
And this was before Skype.
yes, there's no Skype that time.
No.
So then we must be together. We spend time. We barely stay without each other. Okay, when he goes, all the times go work, or we should go work, couldn't be together. But spend days without each other was very rare.
Yeah, we always sleep together.
Of course. So,
But yeah. No, I mean, like, I don't go on a trip somewhere without him. And
Yeah. So next question. Do you think you should ever move home for good? No.
No.
I don't think so. I don't want that. There are so many good things about Brazil, but there are many things that I don't like about Brazil. And I'm happy here. I think here's a country where they accept us by who we are. We've been married since 2003.
Yeah, 18 years now.
One of the many countries. When we got married, back then, it was so funny. Our neighbors saying, how's your husband? Everybody.
And before, it's like, how's your friend?
So everybody's recognizing us, being accepted. A week after our wedding, in the city hall here, I went to a wedding, his cousins in Montreal, and a straight couple. And then it's so interesting to see they talking, the priest or whatever, telling them the things. And the way it wasn't priest, it was the rabbi.
No, it was a priest.
Priest? Okay, priest. The things he said about their marriage is the same thing to us. And then, according to the law, blah, blah, the same thing they did to us. It's so nice to feel recognized, accepted. So that's something I wouldn't change. We like go to Hungary. You know, there's issues there just for a while, not to stay there.
Yeah, we would go to Hungary. We'd love to go to Hungary for a few months to get to know
But
the
we wouldn't
country
live
more.
there for the same reasons.
Yeah,
So,
because when I got my Hungarian citizenship recently, I had to apply as a single person. which was funny saying that I'm a single person when I've been married for 18 years.
Yes, so that's something reason why I wouldn't move back to Brazil.
Yeah.
Any country you like to live in? Hungary, if it wasn't for those issues.
Hungary for short periods of time.
Yes, you want to for a while, maybe stay like 5 months and come back, stay another, go back. Maybe something like that.
Or possibly Austria or Germany.
Yes.
We can...
Or Austria, because it's close to Hungary, so Austria is more open-minded. So we'll be able to live there and
go to Hungary and see family very easily.
Hungary for fun and go back.
Yeah.
One tip of piece of advice for anyone wanting to move to a new country. Good question. That's complex.
That's a complex question.
I can give many. One is, if you want to move somewhere, research information, get to know things. Don't
you
go
have
there.
The internet, so
don't go there out of blue. Be open-minded to listen to people's advices, because I met many people these years, especially the blog, the magazine. People asking me things about moving here. We try to help explain things they don't like, they don't accept. They say you're a liar and negative. No, just being realistic. Try to make
your cousin's friend.
Yeah, make your beginning here be maybe better, but they don't listen.
And also be willing to change.
Like I mentioned, the series, you had to be able to adapt, to recycle yourself, to reborn.
Yeah.
And also go to another country, not totally attached to your own country. Because Brazilians here, they don't speak English. They live technically here, the rest is there. They watch TV from there, news from there. They don't speak much English. They're here just for the comfort or the money-wise, not for the living. It's nice to have things from your country, but I think it would be nice if they try to embrace a bit more where they are.
Don't always stay in the area where your countrymen live.
Yeah, take advantage that you're not a country, learn new things. There's so many things, especially Canada in case. There's so many cultures, many things you can learn and observe. It's so nice. So, of course, and also nothing is perfect. Nowhere in the world is perfect. Everywhere, for more perfect, sounds like it's not. So can go also, so many advice. Now go somewhere also thinking, because my life was shit here, my life is going to be better there. It could be. But if you don't solve a few things in yourself, you might bring the same things from there here.
Right. Some people might have been doctors in their home country, and they come here, they can't get the medical license. So
right away it was more difficult, so I had to adapt.
Yeah.
But I'm saying also, if you feel unhappy there because you're single, yeah. But if it might be the people here that are single, they're unhappy the same way. So it's just in many cases about how you live. For the many situations, many things can be. But I'm saying, don't come thinking you're going to be attached to there, from where you came from. Don't think you're going to everything's perfect. Not. Because if you come here thinking, or another country thinking everything's perfect, it can be disappointing, because nothing's perfect.
Very true. And another thing I wanted to say, which just came out of my mind, we had mentioned it this weekend with a friend of ours who just moved to Canada. So we mentioned research the place you're going to move to. Maybe before you move, come for a visit.
It can be hard, can be expensive, but don't come out of the blue and move here or another place. Go there first, stay here for a month or two, see if you like, how you adapt, see better. So maybe it might be better coming next time, more prepared. But if you come out of the blue, not anything, it's going to be more difficult.
More importantly, if you're coming from a country that is like Brazil, for example, where it's very hot, and you come to Canada and it's too cold for you in the winter, it's a good idea to come in the wintertime, see if you can handle it.
Besides, another relative thing, because it's cold if you're outside, at house, indoors, It's not cold. Brazil is cold indoors because they don't have heating. But it's another story. What I'm saying, research, information, come informed and open-minded to observe things, open-minded to
Adapt.
You might adapt or recreate yourself. That's
Yes.
what me. I wasn't a journalist. I did work in music record labels. Was visually I'm an advertisement, and then here I became a journalist because in the end I had to recycle or recreate yourself so you can do things here. So that's something very important. Wait, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. 12 questions.
40 minutes we're talking.
Yeah.
So hope you like the answers. Hope you're fine. So I'd like to thank our dear sweet friends.
Too Fat, Too Furious.
Yes, G and Nicky. Thank
Yes.
you. Hope your other fellow channels want to do. I'd like to invite another channel to do this with us. Is the Brit Girls Go Stateside.
Yes, Brit Girls Go Stateside. We were recently on their show, actually.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Yes.
There's a surprise about this. Go watch the videos.
Yeah, go watch
their
the video.
channel. I'm gonna have a link here too. So if you girls, if you can, maybe nice to hear from you about this.
Because they're two British women who live in Arizona.
So it'll be interesting to hear that.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, please let us know. Oops!
Oh no, we
I
forgot.
forgot. We said there's a surprise. So surprise is record a video for friends.
Recently.
Yes. Nicky and G for our channel about Snack Crate.
Yes.
Because they're from South Africa, so we made a video with them trying South Africa candies and snacks, and they're so nice to do that with them. Have a good time doing that. So we'll be uploading that soon.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on it.
Yes, and stay fluffy.